back with this guy.
Hello.
So this is before and after for what's the movie? Mortal Engines, written by Philippa.
A lot of people in this line who don't actually know what we're seeing. They called it Mortal Enemies.
Or Public Enemies.
Mortal Enemies.
Immortals. That's another film.
The age of the great predator cities. Survival of the fastest.
Anyways, directed by
random guy Christian Rivers,
yeah.
who is just an assistant director on a lot of Peter Jackson movies. Peter Jackson's only producing this,
but then they're selling
putting his name all over the ads.
Yeah. So if you're looking for Peter Jackson greatness, prepare to be disappointed.
And then there's a lot of trailers or like little previews they've been putting out that have them interviewing like Peter Jackson with clips from the movie.
What?
Yeah.
That's overkill. But anyways.
Well, I mean, Mortal Engines is set about 3,000 years into our future. Just giving him his last job. Well, not last, his latest job. Very bad. Cut that out. The film is as good as it could be. I mean, if I directed the film, I couldn't do a better job than Christian's done. So. They get better and better as the series goes along. But anyway, I read them and I just thought, God, these would be incredible films.
It's cities roaming around because they're engines, and then there's this very why is it? Okay, first of all, you have read the first book.
I've read this.
I have not read the book, so I'm going in blind. I heard about it and I was like excited because it sounds cool. But then when I saw the first trailer, I was like, nope, not impressed. Feels like a Hunger Games but with engines. And is it Hunger Games with Engines?
No. The book's actually very good. It's like this. It's post-apocalyptic. It takes place in this future where there's different kinds of cities. So there's like some in the sky, and then there's a bunch that are on wheels, and then
there's skies. Ooh, spoilers.
Yeah. So there's like this weird thing that goes on between like cities on wheels, and then everybody else who doesn't like wheels. So you'll see that
wheel folks.
Yeah, and then they're like led by these Germans.
Germans?
Yes.
So is this like international?
It is very international. Yeah. And then they have like this nation in China that hides in the mountains. That's really weird. And there's this character played by a Korean who's supposed to be Chinese.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's cool that they've hired some Asian representation, but she clearly is not she's very American.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. I just expect things to look good. And I'm going to expect her to be like a Hunger Games Katniss type of vibe, because that's what I'm getting at from the trailers. So what have you, I'm not expecting too much, but let's go. We're starting. Yeah. So this is before, and this is after.
Whoa, we're on a magazine rack.
Okay, first off, I'm going to go first.
Go ahead.
The only reason you want to watch this is not to watch this. But only
Sam fell asleep in the movie,
and it was still an hour.
And he was snoring, and the ladies to my left were like,
and then I checked the clock, and I was like, how is this an hour in? I felt like we were almost done here. But anyways, so the only good thing that I found about this movie was the machines, the engines, the aesthetics, sort of wardrobe, but set design was good. The actual CGI of them compiling things like a box thingy, and then the gun stuff was kind of cool. The weapons kind of too Chinese-y for my liking, just like you're trying too hard here. But the guns are cool, like that machine handgun,
that's pretty cool.
And then that 4-shot thing that she had was pretty cool. That Shrike was cool as a thing, but his personality and his story arc was so
it was
annoying.
like some terrible Frankenstein.
Anyway, so okay, I think your input is much more because you read the book.
Well, I mean, even if you just watch the movie, there's so many problems. Like, they have an interesting thing where, like, the poor people are at the bottom of the city and the rich people are at the top.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think, like,
so, I mean,
you're going to connect it with Hunger Games.
Right. I mean, there's so many things that you could say about that, but they didn't linger on that at all.
Like, that's the biggest thing you brought up. They don't linger on anything. Even, like, stuff that I like, they don't linger it. Like, the shots, they don't, like you were saying, the way they filmed it, you don't really get to appreciate it. It's just like snap, 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 bam, done.
Yeah, and I think, like as you said, like all the set stuff, like that was all done by like Weta, who did like Lord of the Rings and like King Kong. Yeah. So that was nice. But then for like they didn't take time on it at all. You never got to appreciate any of that stuff. And the script was just so terrible. No. Like, you just can't believe how this got made.
He just needed to add like bitch to the end, and I mean that would be like a contemporary film.
Yeah, so everything was just very, very cheesy, and a lot of like the charm of the book that you get from like the Britishness is
When was
like
the book
completely
written?
gone. A long time ago, probably like 15 years.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, and all of the main characters are all these like the British people, but everybody who's like on the enemy side is like not white, and they're in extremely like ancient clothing.
Yeah,
like they have
like the
Indian
mayor
people.
guy.
They have
Oh,
Indian
yeah, oh
people
my
who
God.
are dressed up like they're from like the first century, and then they have like Chinese people who look like they're from ancient
And
China.
they got Mongols hat things.
Yeah, they have like
things.
so it just felt I don't know. It felt like almost kind of like racist.
It
that
is
these
racist.
Would be the villains.
That's why I think like. For me, I think this movie will bomb here because it's just atrocious. But then in China, if they like the spectacular stuff, like I think they'll take the CGI.
There's a lot of explosions.
Yeah, there's a lot of explosions. Definitely a film that Chinese production cannot attain. But Operation Red Sea, they did pretty good. But that's like real life bombs. I mean, real life explosions.
Yeah.
This is CG.
Yeah, but I mean, like this movie, like if it was done well, like there's not really any good steampunk movies.
Yeah.
So this would have been really cool to have so much money like poured into steampunk.
Like I'm bummed that you tell me that in the book there's more.
Like the books are very
There's more
good.
than London. They didn't even infer that in this film. That like there's more like bigger countries or cities.
And it's just very confusing what they even tried to do with this because like it feels like they're trying to build a franchise, but then this is like very self-contained at the same time, but it's still very
We're gonna discover the world, guys.
Yeah.
Like I seriously thought like maybe the movie was an hour and a half, so when they were like flying towards the rebellion, they're like, we're gonna help them. The movie would end and then we would get part 2. I definitely had that vibe.
Yeah, but it just seemed like there were so many messages that they tried to like bring in, just like the class thing, or like like people are being sold as slaves.
Revenge.
This is terrible. And then there's all these lines about like, oh, how can a civilization so smart be so stupid? But then they don't explore anything at all. And there were a lot of characters.
And Peter Jackson, you didn't write this screenplay.
Yeah.
Stop lying.
So I don't even know like what this the studio was thinking like about this movie.
I think they're just trying to throw everything in the basket, all their eggs, and go like, someone will like it. And I think like from the filmmakers of Lord of the Rings, like it's so selling on the Lord of the Rings thing. Like, dude, you're gonna get so many people seated that they're gonna crap on this movie so hard and go like, Peter Jackson, what have you done?
Yeah, and I felt like they dumbed down a lot of stuff as if like they were targeting kids for this movie.
Well, I mean, the first trailer came out, I was like, when I heard about the concept, I was like, that's super cool. And then when I first saw the trailer, I was like, this is dumb. This is literally Hunger Games all over again, but without the Hunger Games. About a like lone, hardened female character, and then she's gonna fight her way through. And that ending, that was a YA ending. They didn't kiss, because I don't think in Hunger Games they made out either.
I don't know, but it was like I saw some reviews online. People were comparing with Pacific Rim. How it's like the main Australian guy and the Japanese girl, they hug at the end.
Oh right, they do. That makes sense though, because there was no love interest.
They get friend zoned.
There was no love interest in Pacific Rim though, at least.
Yeah.
Like here, it's like you love him.
Yeah.
And he looks and she looks, and then no kisses. Yeah, Hugo Weaving. I mean, it's cool that they got that Jihae Korean actress.
Yeah, but
the way they shot her, I literally swear it's like a different camera, different tones. Because every time it's like her face, and then we go back to what's her face, and it feels like, why are you making the white chick look more cinematic? And then when you go back to the Asian woman, it's less.
Yeah, and it's like the way that it's supposed to be very international. Like there's mentions of like USA.
Yeah.
They did? Well, on the little USB stick that they had.
But it's Medusa.
Yeah, but I mean it's kind of like implied that like America used to be this superpower. And
I mean like they had iPhones and everything, and it just makes me wonder what's the time jump anyways.
Well, they mentioned it was like 1,000 years. Yeah, so it's like, what's the point of mentioning all of these countries if you're not even going to say anything about them?
Yeah, and then when they spoke that foreign language, which I assume is Chinese, but
I think it was some kind of like African.
Okay, that makes sense. They don't even explain. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just.
And why are they speaking English?
Very, very strange.
So much potential, but the character thrown into the wind as it dies.
Yeah. So what does this say about teen movies? It's like you can't make any movies off of these teen books,
and they just don't know how to adapt them. They try to. like I bet you can probably fit this movie. I mean, fit the book into 2 films.
Because even something like The Giver, they did a very, very terrible job.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Like, I think. What do you like? The Golden Compass. Do you watch those movies?
Oh yeah, the movie is terrible. They're trying to redo it as like a BBC series right
I think
now.
they'll probably do it. I think it's because like all these teen books they're trying to adapt were actually more adult in tone, like in written form.
Right. But then when you
they
market it to an audience, it's very tricky.
They don't adapt. It's like Harry Potter. Like in the first 4, it's all kids, but then the latter half, it's all not for kids. But that's like because. Yeah, so I think Harry Potter did it fine, but it's like
Harry Potter.
I mean, I haven't seen them.
I don't know what else.
But
you haven't watched the Harry Potter movies?
But yeah, I mean, like, I think the concept was great. I mean, the acting was like what we got this.
It was really terrible.
What was it?
It didn't make sense.
Discounted Justin Long.
Why was the main? Why was Hester Shaw played by an like she's British, but then she's an American accent.
All of them
Yeah.
had American accents. None of them spoke British.
I don't get it.
Only that
Only
poor
the
boy.
people from London did.
The poor guy was spoken.
Yeah. No, the main guy did. The main guy did. Yeah.
I think he kept
Everyone
losing
who
people.
was from
I
London.
felt like he kept losing it sometimes.
No, he's actually British.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like I feel like they linger on too many things. They linger on strikes, like flashbacks. It took forever.
Yeah.
And then when he dies, it took forever. Like then he had an actual arc. I was surprised Strike had an actual arc. Whereas like, dude, he is insignificant.
But I can't imagine like the scenes with Strike. It's like it's supposed to move you. I can't imagine them moving anybody.
Well, they chopped
like,
off more of the
this
film,
Frankenstein
and
used to
I
have
really
a-
wonder what the original cut was. Like, I feel like there would have been a lot more. Because like they had that ragtag band.
I wonder if they
of
ever
blue.
had a good script at all.
That's true. I don't know who wrote
Very
this.
disappointing.
I mean, but they had the script, they had it in the book, and just like adapted that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for once, the movie is so bad, I want to see the film. I want to read the book. Which is sort of like the Meg. The Meg
It's
makes
too
me
bad.
want to read the book.
I mean, it's too bad it's not even like so bad it's good. Like,
That's true.
It's
Like, the Meg was so bad
It's
it's
almost unwatchable.
Yeah, I was like 1 hour. How could it? I asked you. I was like, how is it 1 hour? It was 1 hour, and then it went on for another 50 minutes, and I was just like, God, why is time going so slow?
And this time I started laughing in the movie. I don't know if anybody else
I don't
did.
think so, but it was actually funny. Like it was so dumb.
It was really
Like, come on, people! You're taking it too seriously if you're not laughing. But yeah. Thank God this was for free. Thank you,
I
Eighth
would not
Dimension.
have paid for this.
I don't think I would have watched this if I knew this was going to be this. If you knew it was for free, that's how bad it is. Like if it's for free, seriously, watch something fun that's dumb. This was just, oh my God. Anyways, we're done here. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
Read the books.
Maybe
There's 4 books, right?
there's 4 books. 4 books. They're
Is it strong? 4 books?
Yeah, I
Strong.
think they are.
See, like I actually
Stay
wanna
away from
it.
YA films.
Yeah, YA films.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do another Harry Potter or something. I don't know.
Some stuff you have to add. Well, for the use of color in this movie was really odd.
Yeah.
Like every time the Frankenstein character comes out, he's super green.
Yeah.
It was like green
And he's
lightning
super cheesy.
and lights
He
everywhere.
yells when he's free.
And then whenever they use weapons, it's like super purple.
Yeah.
And there's purple lightning everywhere.
And then when they go to the China implied place, it's all red.
yeah.
Or just Airhaven. Like, literally, you name the place after the literal use of the
Yeah.
place. Like, come on.
And then the whole movie, it was super noisy. The soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
They hired the guy who did Mad Max, Junkie XL.
I mean, I
and
definitely feel it, but it's like too much, man. Too much.
And it seems like they just hired him because they're like, oh, he did kind of like
Yeah.
a steampunk movie before,
Yeah,
so
like,
we want him back
like
again.
there's like emotional moments. It's like you don't trust your actors to deliver on an emotional level, so let's hype up the music, make you cry a bit, and when it's like the final struggle, make it super epic when it's just them rolling on the ground. Oh my goodness, too much music. Sometimes you gotta drop the music down and just let people like do their thing and talk, and I think that would have been better. Like, it's too noisy. Color was confusing,
and I think that even the blend of like practical sets and CG was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you compare like Lord of the Rings to The Hobbit, and you think about how much overkill like The Hobbit did, like this felt like the same thing. Like they didn't have a good balance.
No balance. Okay, that's it. Anyways, we're done here. Thank you, Eighth Dimension, and free things. It's always nice. Oh, fun fact: monkey see, monkey do. We had a lot of people pick up 3D glasses because they were outside the door. But this movie was not in 3D. Anyway, so that's it. This is before and after of Immortal Enemies. Later.